everybody, Courtney and Brett here at OutdoorJack. Today we're talking pools. As we get into winter, I wanted to cover with Brett today a few things that we want to take a look at when it comes to pools, especially as it relates to how we keep them clean, maintained, and in working order throughout the year, and especially as we get to these colder months. So, Brett, what does that look like?
Yeah, well, first thing I'd say is it is year-round, right? Because here in Texas, it's warm enough to where we're not actually closing pools. Maybe in the northern states, you might do that, but here it's warm enough where you're still doing your care weekly and as much as possible throughout the year. So a quick thing to help you remember is 3 C's of pool care: cleaning, chemistry, and circulation. And just remember that as you approach how to keep your pool clean and in order throughout the year.
Okay, so let's dig into the 3 C's. What's the first C about the cleaning? What does that entail?
Yeah, so cleaning is a big deal of what's on top of the surface and then what's on the walls and the floor, right? So of course, when fall comes, all your leaves, acorns are gonna fall in there. Use your rake to get those out. But one of the most underrated things you can do for your pool is brushing. So that's the walls and the floor to really get up any algae or any organisms that's built up there. So that's the primary ways to keep it clean.
Okay. Outside of the cleaning, you mentioned the next C is chemistry. Okay, tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so don't be intimidated, but chemistry is really looking at how your water is balanced, what kind of chemicals go in there, how you're testing it, what you're looking for. 3 ones that you always want to look for every week is your chlorine level, your pH, and your alkalinity. Keeping those in line will help your water maintain chemistry and a good balance. And so into the winter months, you might be able to pull back instead of using like the tabs that you use in the summer months. You're gonna pull back and do either a liquid or powder shock as needed. So it's still preventative, but it's not as just a routine or just dropping tabs in and walking away. You're really just looking at it and seeing it as it's needed over the winter.
Well, even if I'm not going to be using the pool, you would still recommend to kind of keep up with the chemistry.
Oh yeah.
And why is that important? Kind of even if I'm not going to be using it for the winter.
Yeah, totally. So even in the winter, if a pool goes green, if it gets out of control, you're going to spend time and money to get it back in order. So still having a preventative mindset to keep it in order, good water and chemistry balance throughout the year.
Okay, now that 3rd C then, circulation. Talk a little bit more about that. I know that in general, especially with freezes and stuff, I know I typically got to keep the water on my house like cracked a little bit, dripping. What do I do with overall circulation when it comes to pool maintenance, not only winter but year round?
Yeah, totally. So the circulation of your pool is the big part of keeping it clean, because if you say like a puddle somewhere, it's stagnant, algae and organisms are growing, right? It's just dirty, and we all know that. So your skimmers and your pumps and your filter is where the water is moving from. What we can do though to save you money and also just practice in the winter months is, instead of like this high volume, high velocity of RPMs on your pump to keep the water moving, since there's less algae, we can bring that down. We can adjust your schedule to make sure that it's in an efficient process, but not wasting energy either.
Okay, so with all of this, you got cleaning, you've got the chemistry, you've got the circulation. Overall, what I'm wanting to know is, what do I do if I don't have the time to do this, or if I'm going out of town for the holidays? Is that when I'm calling OutdoorJack? Is that when I'm engaging in professional help? Is that when I give you the shout?
Yeah, please reach out, especially if you know you're going to be gone for a while. We'd love to make sure your pool stays in working order. You know, all this stuff, when you dig into it, it's pretty simple, but it's still a lot. And your pool can be a lot to keep up with. The information can be a lot to keep up with. So people engage us to really just be that extra hand maintaining it for you so that you can enjoy more time with your family. So yeah, we'd love to help you, and we can be a resource to you anytime.
Oh, cool. Well, I think that about wraps it up for this. Anything else, Rhett?
No, just look for us at OutdoorJack.co. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.